We all want to be better, not perfect, not flawless, but better. Better than we were yesterday. Better in how we listen, how we love, how we lead, and how we show up for others. But being a better human isn't about achieving more. It's about becoming more. It's not about the size of your success. It's about the depth of your character. The truth is, being a better human starts in the smallest of moments. The ones no one sees. How you treat the waiter. How you talk to yourself when you fail. How you respond when life doesn't go your way. These moments define who you are, not your title, not your achievements, not your followers. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more kind ones. People who listen more than they speak. People who ask, "How are you?" and actually wait for the answer. People who care, not because it benefits them, but because it's the right thing to do. To be a better human, you have to learn to see people. See beyond what they show you, to what they feel, to what they fear, to what they hope for. Empathy isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And kindness isn't nada of, it's powerful. The strongest people in the world aren't the ones who stand above others. They're the ones who lift others up. Growth is not about running faster. It's about slowing down enough to understand. To understand your emotions, your habits, your reactions. When you know yourself, you can change yourself. And when you change yourself, you change your world. So if you want to be better forever, start small. Speak with respect. Listen with patience. Act with intention. Forgive quickly. Love deeply. And never forget, being human is not about perfection. It's about presence. Because the better you become, the better the world becomes. Better means becoming, not achieving. Most of us grow up believing that life is about collecting accomplishments. Grades, titles, trophies, money, recognition. We chase them, thinking that each milestone will finally make us feel whole, that each victory will define our worth. But the truth is, achievements can be satisfying for a moment, yet they fade quickly. Becoming, on the other hand, is lasting. It's the quiet, ongoing transformation of who you are inside, how you think, how you respond, and how you treat others when no one is watching. Becoming is not about reaching the top. It's about becoming the kind of person who deserves to be there. When your focus shifts from achieving to becoming, you start to see life differently. Failure stops being a threat and becomes a teacher. Mistakes stop being proof of weakness and become opportunities for wisdom. You begin to realize that growth doesn't always show up in applause or awards. Sometimes it's in the patience you show when things fall apart, in the humility to admit when you're wrong, in the courage to start again when it would be easier to quit. That's where real progress happens, in the unseen spaces where no one else is clapping. Becoming is about depth, not display. Achievements can impress others, but becoming impresses your own soul. It's about developing values that guide you even when the world pushes you to compromise. It's about building resilience so that your happiness doesn't depend on circumstances. It's about maturing emotionally, learning to listen, to care, and to give without expecting something in return. When you commit to becoming, you stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "Who can I be?" The paradox is that when you focus on becoming better, achievement follows naturally. Success becomes a byproduct, not the goal. You start to attract opportunities that align with who you are becoming. But the real reward isn't what you gain. It's who you become along the way. Every challenge shapes you, every failure refines you, and every act of courage defines you. Becoming is a lifelong journey, not a final destination. It's about evolving into a version of yourself that you can be proud of. One that doesn't need validation, only purpose. Character is built in invisible moments. The ones that often go unnoticed, that happen in the quiet spaces when no one is watching. It's not in the big speeches or the grand gestures that we truly define who we are, but in the small, everyday decisions. How do you act when you think no one is looking? How do you treat people when they can't do anything for you? Character is formed in these moments, in the way you choose to show up, whether there's an audience or not. We all have our public personas, the faces we wear for the world, the masks we put on to fit in or to impress. But real character is forged in the unseen. It's the split-second decision to give up your seat on the bus to someone who needs it more, even though it won't earn you any recognition. It's the way you show kindness to a stranger without expecting anything in return. It's how you behave when you're tired, frustrated, or facing pressure, yet still manage to act with integrity. These are the moments that truly define us. What's easy to forget is that character isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about doing the right thing when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, or when no one would know if you didn't. Character is the habit of acting with honesty and kindness, even in the smallest interactions. It's how you show up in your most vulnerable moments when you're not trying to impress anyone but yourself. It's easy to think that your character will be revealed in the big, defining moments of life, when you face adversity, or when you make a life-changing decision. But it's the small, everyday moments that determine the person you truly are. How you speak to yourself when no one else is around. The way you treat someone who doesn't have the ability to help you. The quiet respect you give to those who might not be noticed by others. In every invisible moment, we have a choice. And each time we choose to act with kindness, integrity, and authenticity, we build a stronger, more solid character. These moments may not be recorded or remembered by others, but they shape who we are and who we are becoming. Character isn't something you build for the applause. It's something you build for yourself, even when no one's looking. Empathy is strength, not weakness. In a world that often rewards toughness, independence, and emotional restraint, we've been taught to view empathy as something soft, something vulnerable, something that makes us susceptible to hurt. But the truth is, empathy is one of the most powerful traits a person can possess. It's the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, and it requires a profound inner strength that is often underestimated. To empathize with someone is to allow yourself to step outside of your own experiences and view the world through another's eyes. It's a willingness to be open, to listen without judgment, and to feel without rushing to fix. It's not about being overly sentimental or weak. It's about having the emotional courage to be present with someone in their pain, joy, or struggle. This is strength, the strength to connect with others on a human level, to bear witness to their humanity, and to offer comfort, understanding, and support when they need it most. Empathy requires emotional resilience. It's easy to ignore someone's pain or to shut off your emotions to avoid feeling discomfort. But true empathy calls for vulnerability. It means opening your heart to others, even when it's risky. It means putting aside your own emotions and judgments to fully understand the other person's perspective. This takes practice, patience, and emotional intelligence. And it's a strength that can transform relationships, communities, and even workplaces. What often gets lost in the conversation about empathy is the idea that it is a par's choice, not a weakness. It's a conscious decision to care, to give your attention, and to be present in someone else's experience, even if it doesn't directly benefit you. It's easy to dismiss someone's feelings or struggles when they don't affect you personally, but it takes strength to recognize their pain and respond with compassion, even if it's inconvenient. Empathy is a choice that shows we are more than just individuals looking out for ourselves. We are connected beings who thrive when we uplift one another. Empathy doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you by expanding your emotional range. It allows you to navigate human connection with depth and authenticity. It gives you the ability to be present with others and to help them through their toughest moments without diminishing your own power. Instead of making you vulnerable, empathy makes you stronger because it builds bridges of trust, compassion, and understanding that ultimately enhance both your life and the lives of others. Self-awareness creates change. It is the quiet force behind every lasting transformation, the mirror that reveals not who we pretend to be, but who we truly are. Without it, we repeat the same mistakes, fall into the same patterns, and blame everything around us for the results we keep getting. But the moment we become aware, really aware, something shifts. We begin to see ourselves clearly, to notice the habits, thoughts, and emotions that shape our choices. And in that awareness lies the power to change. Self-awareness is not about judgment, it's about understanding. It's the ability to step back from your emotions and ask, why did I react that way? Or what am I really afraid of? It's the courage to look inward, even when what you find makes you uncomfortable. Because growth always begins with truth. You can't change what you refuse to see, and you can't heal what you deny. Awareness is the first step toward transformation because it turns unconscious behavior into conscious choice. When you develop self-awareness, you start to recognize the patterns that hold you back, the excuses you make, the fears that control you, the stories you tell yourself about what's possible. You begin to understand how your mindset affects your actions and how your actions create your reality. This understanding gives you the freedom to pause, to choose differently, and to respond with intention instead of impulse. It's not an instant process, but with time, awareness becomes your greatest tool for growth. The beauty of self-awareness is that it humbles you. It shows you that you're not perfect, that you still have work to do, but it also reminds you that you're capable of change. It teaches you compassion both for yourself and for others, because when you see your own flaws clearly, you learn to accept imperfection in everyone else. Real change doesn't come from external motivation or pressure. It comes from internal understanding. You can read all the books, listen to all the advice, and still stay the same if you're not aware of what drives your behavior. But once you are, you begin to live with purpose. You start making choices aligned with who you want to become rather than who you've been. That's the true power of self-awareness. It turns your life from something that happens to you into something you consciously create. Kindness and respect are daily practices. They are not traits we show when it's convenient or when someone deserves it. They are habits we choose to live by, even when no one notices. Being kind and respectful is not about perfection or grand gestures. It's about the small, consistent ways we treat others and ourselves every single day. The tone we use when we speak, the patience we show in a difficult moment, the compassion we extend to someone who may not have earned it. These are the quiet choices that define our character. Kindness is powerful because it requires awareness. It means paying attention to the needs of others, to the emotions behind their words, and to the invisible battles they may be fighting. A kind word, a small act of help, or even a smile can shift someone's entire day, and the more we practice it, the more natural it becomes. Kindness doesn't just benefit the receiver, it transforms the giver too. It softens the edges of our ego, replaces judgment with understanding, and reminds us that humanity is built on connection, not competition. Respect goes hand in hand with kindness. It's about seeing others as equals regardless of their status, beliefs, or background. It's about listening when someone speaks, even if we disagree, and valuing their perspective as we would our own. Respect is not something others must earn from us. It's something we offer freely because it reflects who we are. It's easy to respect people who treat us well, but true respect is measured by how we act toward those who can do nothing for us. Practicing kindness and respect every day requires mindfulness. It means catching ourselves when frustration takes over, when impatience creeps in, and choosing to respond differently. It's choosing empathy over anger, compassion over criticism. These choices might seem small, but they ripple outward in ways we may never see. They create trust, foster peace, and make the world a little softer for everyone. In a world where harshness often feels louder than compassion, kindness and respect are acts of quiet rebellion. They don't demand attention or applause, yet they leave an impact that lasts far longer than any words ever could. When practiced daily, they become more than actions. They become the essence of who we are. Presence over perfection is a mindset that shifts how we experience life. We spend so much time trying to be flawless, chasing an image of success, happiness, or worthiness that's impossible to sustain. We worry about saying the right thing, doing the right thing, or being seen the right way. But in the pursuit of perfection, we often miss the beauty of the present moment. Presence is about being fully here, with yourself, with others, with life as it unfolds, without constantly trying to fix or control it. When you choose presence over perfection, you give yourself permission to be human. You stop holding yourself to impossible standards and start embracing the moments that make you real. Presence allows you to slow down, to notice the small details, to truly listen when someone speaks, and to connect without distraction. It's about being engaged, not polished. You don't have to have everything figured out to be worthy of showing up. You just have to be willing to be here now, as you are. Perfection isolates us. Presence connects us. The need to appear perfect creates distance between who we are and who we think we should be. It fuels comparison, insecurity, and fear of failure. But presence draws us back to authenticity. It reminds us that life isn't about performance. It's about participation. The people around you don't need a perfect version of you. They need the honest one. The one who listens, laughs, makes mistakes, and tries again. Choosing presence doesn't mean giving up on growth. It means letting go of the illusion that growth requires flawlessness. Some of the most powerful lessons happen when things don't go as planned. When you are present, you can see the lesson in the chaos, the strength in the stumble, and the meaning in the mess. You become more grounded, more compassionate, and more resilient. Presence is where life actually happens, not in the past you can't change or the future you can't control. Perfection will always demand more, but presence will always give more. It allows you to experience life as it is, not as you wish it would be. When you let go of perfection and choose to be present, you stop performing for the world and start living for yourself fully, freely, and authentically. And in the end, being a better human isn't about mastering life. It's about being present for it. It's not about how much you achieve, but how deeply you care. It's not about perfection, but about progress, the quiet kind that happens inside you, one choice, one thought, one act of kindness at a time. Every moment you choose empathy over ego, patience over pride, and presence over perfection, you're becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more grounded. You're shaping a version of yourself that not only succeeds, but inspires. So be the person who listens when others stay silent. Be the one who lifts even when you're tired. Be the one who chooses understanding even when it's easier to judge. Because the world doesn't get better by chance. It gets better because people like you decide to show up, to care, and to grow. Every day is a chance to practice being better. Not perfect, just better. And when you choose to live that way, with awareness, with empathy, with kindness, you don't just become a better human. You become the kind of human who makes everyone around them better too.